computer. All right, I'm going to share my screen and let's go. Guys, once again, welcome to Sunday Heart Check. I'm your host, Terrence McGee. Guys, this is wonderful. All right. First and foremost, I want to say this. I want to say happy 4th of July, right? I want to say happy 4th of July. That's when America was free, of I guess slavery. So I guess America got its independence on July 4th, 1776, right? So I do want to say happy 4th of July, although it's kind of touchy to some people, right? It's touchy to some people. But hey, man, that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm not here to talk about how America got free, right? I want to talk to you about how you can get free, right? I want to talk to you about freedom, right? So, welcome to Sunday Heart Check once again. Here's my mantra. Here's our motto, right? I analyze my heart before, during, and after I start, right? So, if you want to screenshot that, go ahead and do that, right? Go ahead and screenshot that, or go ahead and write that down on a piece of paper, right? If you like it, go ahead and take note of that, right? I analyze my heart before, during, and after I start, right? So that's with anything. That's with going in your business. That's with even with life, right? Before you start, analyze your heart. Make sure it's in the right place, the right mind. Make sure you're in the right mind frame before you do anything. Make sure you're at peace before you do anything, ladies and gentlemen. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about freedom, right? We know that the definition of freedom is what? We know what freedom looks like, okay? Something that you're let go of, right? Something when you get free, it's just like a moment of fresh air, right? You can do whatever you want because you're free of doing what you had to do, right? You are free from doing what you had to do. Now you're free to do whatever. It's just a release feeling, right? You get a feeling of release when you're free, right? There are some steps that you got to take in order to be free, right? There's a quote out there that says, hey, a lot of people want to get to heaven, but nobody wants to die to get there. And here's the problem. Here's the thing. You're not just going to be free like that. It's not going to be easy. There are going to be some challenges for you to get free. There's going to be challenges, right? Even within America, there had to be some wars going on before before America could be free, right? Uh, Europe wasn't Europe was just not going to let the USA just be free because it just said I want to be free. No, they sung a song saying I just want to be free, and King George just said, all right, cool. Nah, they had to fight for it. And I say that to say this: oh, you're going to have to fight for your freedom. It's going to be a battle. If you truly want to be free of something, you're going to have to fight your way out. You're going to have to take necessary steps to get to freedom. Just think about Harriet Tubman. She made the Underground Railroad to free slaves, right? Making sure they don't get caught. So let me ask you this. So let me give you some steps. The first thing you have to do in order to be free is you have to realize that you're enslaved. You have to realize the problem, right? It's kind of hard for me to give you a solution if you think you don't have a problem, right? Harriet Tubman said it best. Hey, I could have freed a lot more. I freed 10,000 slaves. I could have freed a lot more if they knew they were slaves. Guys, you have to know that you're addicted to something. You have to know, you have to realize that you have a problem. You have to realize that you are addicted to something. You are enchained with something. Something has you stuck, right? Something has you stuck. And you have to realize this. Otherwise, there's no freedom for you. I could go to say this. Listen, what may be enslaving you, you may think that that's free. But until you realize that that is a problem, until you realize that, you'll never be free. You'll be stuck wherever you are, right? So another thing you have to do is you have to change your perspective. One moment. So another thing you have to do is you have to change your perspective, right? And what do I mean by that? You have to see the bigger picture, right? You have to believe, right? Being free starts from inside out, right? It goes from inside out. So you have to realize, number one, you have to realize that you're stuck, like I said, and then you have to see, hey, what are the benefits of me being free? And do I really believe that I am worth the freedom that God has for me? Right? Do I really believe that? We was watching a movie today when my wife and we were at church, and the pastor was giving us like a movie clip, was giving us perspective on based off of a movie clip. I believe it's called Ford versus Ferrari, right? And the guy was having a conversation with his son, and he was saying the moment that the car starts to speed up, you don't squint your eyes in to notice the small things. You open your eyes to see the road that's ahead of you, right? And what I got from it is it's almost like playing a game where it's almost like playing a game of, I forgot one of those games called, I think it's called Tomb Raider or what it's called, right? But it's a game where it's really, really fast, right? Or Sonic the Hedgehog game. It's really, really fast. And you have to notice what's in front of you. You have to notice something that's ahead in order for you to think about it and make that next decision, right? Right? You have to think about what's ahead of you before you can make that decision to either jump over it or run through it, run into it. So guess what? When you start to travel down that road towards your success, whether it be, $1 million, whether it be financial freedom, whether it be, spiritual freedom, whether it be, you know, health, right? Being healthy, you have to understand that there are some steps, there are some hard bumps that you need to take, right? The road ahead of you is not an easy road, but the other side of that fence, guess what? It's bliss, right? So you have to see the big picture. Stop focusing so much on the small problems, but notice the big goal, right? The ending mind. You keep your focus on what's at the end of the road, the light at the end of the tunnel. And you might be digging for days, you might be digging for weeks, digging for months, years, decades. But if you can see the light at the end of that tunnel, you're gonna be digging, right? Got to fall in love with that. Fall in love with seeing the big picture. And then you have to believe that you're worth the purpose that God has for you. Just think about it. What if you stop short? You're right there. It's like you're digging and you're like 2 digs away from gold. If you stop short and go back to where you were, guess what? You'll be stuck there, right? One of the things I love about Harriet Tubman was when she was just guiding slaves through the Underground Railroad to freedom, basically. One person wanted to quit. One person wanted to go right back to slavery. And she found her, she found the value of her being free so valuable that she wasn't going to let anyone stop it. And listen, I'm gonna attempt to say this without being so graphic, right? So here we go. The guy was like, "Man, I'm going back. Right? I'm going back. I can't do this." Harriet Tubman basically went up to him and said, "Hey, dead folk don't tell any tales, right?" I'm not gonna tell you what all she did, but she said, "Hey, dead folk tell no tales." She found her freedom. She found her success so valuable. She found what God had for her so valuable that she wasn't gonna let anyone stop it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care who decides to leave. And here's the thing. Today, you got to ask yourself, if one person leaves, is that going to stop me? Is that going to stop me, right? It doesn't matter who leaves my business. It does not matter. It doesn't matter who walks out of my life. It is not going to stop me from what God has for me, right? So the next step to freedom is setting the tone, right? Once you find that vision, let's see if I mute these mics really quick. To those of you that's joining, welcome to the call. Welcome to the call. Welcome to Sunday Heart Check, ladies and gentlemen. We talking about freedom, ladies and gentlemen. So we just recapped. We talked about you have first having to realize the problem, right? Realizing that you're enslaved. In order to get free, you got to realize that you're enslaved. You got to realize that you're a slave to something. You got to realize that you're addicted to something that's not freeing you. You're addicted to something that's putting you in more chains. I don't know what it is. It could be you holding a grudge against something or someone, right? You have to realize that. And you have to start from inside out. Once you realize that problem deep within, you have to release it, right? You have to realize God's vision, God's purpose for you, and you have to believe that you're worth it, right? You see the bigger picture. Shift your perspective is what you do next. Now we're going to talk about setting the tone. Setting the tone. One of the things our mentor, Mr. Brandon Thompson, he's a big name in our business. He's a very big name in our business. For those of you that's on my team, you know who he is. You know the impact that he has. One thing he talked about was, hey, setting the tone, right? Setting the tone. And one of the things you do when you set a tone is you have a vision, right? The good book says, hey, write the vision down, make it plain so those who see it may run. You got to write your vision down. So number one, that you see it. And then number two, your teammates can see it, right? So you have to set that tone. This means, hey, this is where we're going. This is what God has. This is what I want. This is what, you setting that tone for yourself first. Hey, this is what God has for me. I'm going to follow that. If you're coming with me, this is what we're going after. This is the vision. This is the vision, and letting nothing stop you. Another way of setting the tone is letting your people know, hey, this is what's going to happen. We're going to have some bumpy roads, but the vision is clear. I'm going to get hit bad. I'm going to be hit hard, and it's going to hurt. But I'm willing to take that pain. I'm willing to take those punches, those blows, because I know what God has for me. And I'm not letting nothing or nobody stop me from getting there. Yeah, okay, I hit a certain rank and then I D-rank. Fine, that's not gonna stop me from getting where I wanna go. Okay, I hit a certain level of success and then I fell back. I took 2 steps forward to take 3 steps back. That's fine. I'm gonna take another 2 steps forward, right? I've hit a pullback in my life. Fine, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not gonna stop. If you wanna stop, that's fine. But when you stop, just know you're not stopping me, right? You're not making me upset by you quitting on your dreams. You have to set that tone, right? You setting the tone with yourself, you partnering up with some teammates, because guess what? It's harder to get free on your own than it is with teammates. I want to say this, 2 heads are better than 1. 2 heads are better than 1. For guess what? If one falls, the other person can pick them right up. That person, your friend, can hold you accountable when you fall off. All right. When you say, hey, I'm good, I don't feel like going, your friend can say, you know what? Keep going, man. Keep going. You got this. Right. You got to partner up with somebody, some like-minded people. Guess what? If iron sharpens iron, why are you hanging around with copper? Right? Why are you hanging around with plastic if iron sharpens iron? Some of you have friends that are plastic friends. They're not like-minded. They don't have the same vision, the same goals, the same mindset as you. But you've been friends with them since day one. Oh, they've been my friends since the 1st grade. Yeah, but they don't believe what you believe. You've changed. They didn't. You've changed for the better. They've changed for the worse. They may have different opinions. They may think that what you doing, where you going, don't work. Oh man, you running that business, that stuff don't work, you gonna fall off. You love those people from a distance, right? Listen, this is what God has for me. I'm going. If you don't want to come with me, that you don't have to. But this is where I'm going. If we gotta separate from here, then so be it. But I'm going after the vision that God has. You stay where you at, but I'm going. People have lost. I've lost friends, right? I've had people leave me, right? We've had people quit our business before. Why? Because the vision, because their vision may not match ours. But that's what it is. You have to get with like-minded people. You have to get with people who have the same goal. The method may change, but the message needs to be the same. All right. And finally, once you have all that set in stone, you go ahead and you take those steps, ladies and gentlemen. Take those steps. Take the necessary steps to freedom. Whatever that underground railroad is, it could be you marketing, right? It could be you making a public proclamation of the business that you're in, right? It could be you talking to millions of people, telling them about what you're doing, telling them about your business. Hey, this is what I do for a living. I would love for you to join me. And it may take a million no's before somebody say yes. But at the end of the day, if a million people say no and 12 people say yes, guess what? That's success, ladies and gentlemen. Because those 12 people can get 12 people, right? And now sooner or later, eventually, you're going to have millions of people following you because now you're the leader, ladies and gentlemen. You're the leader now. Why? Because you didn't stop. Because you knew you realized the problem that you had. Listen, I want to say this. You may realize that the same problem that you had, right? If you take that step to the solution, you'll be able to give it to somebody who had the same problem you had, right? The same problem you found a solution for, you're now able to give it to somebody who has the same problem that you had, right? So you have to go through it. You have to go through it, ladies and gentlemen. You have to go through it. So with that being said, guys, this call is officially over. This has been Sunday Heart Check with Uncle T. And guys, we'll see you at the top because the bottom is way too crowded. However, we'll never look down on anyone unless we help them up, guys. You have to understand this. I have a major solution to a major problem. And once you realize that, once you start valuing that, you'll be able to tell people about it, right? Once you find what you have to be valuable, it'll be no problem for you to share it with somebody. And you'll be willing to go through the rejections. Why? Because what you have is way more valuable than somebody telling you no. God's yes is way better than man's no. So this call is over. If you guys like what I said, yes, this is recorded. This is recorded. So I'm going to be posting this on my YouTube chat, on the chat itself. So let's get it, guys. This boy, Uncle T. Take care and God bless.